being 5-0, being ranked, getting headlines, do you and your staff maybe add more wrinkles to game plans now that people are paying more attention?
Oh, I don't think so. I think the thing that's been good for us this year is we've been pretty simple, really. Allowed our guys to play. I think as you get better, you can become more simple. Just because it's more about fundamentals and it's more about the guys playing more than it is about the plays you call. And so, if anything, I think we've kind of narrowed our package down, figured out what we're good at, really on offense, defense, and including special teams as well. And so, tried to zero in on those things and just try to get better. So, you always have to add a couple of wrinkles here and there to keep people off balance, and you have tendencies that you have to break. But beyond that, not really.
You're coming off of a 10-sack game, and I believe 3 of those first sacks were non-starters.
Yeah.
It says a lot about your defense. Let me hear what your thoughts.
Yeah, we just have a lot of depth. I mean, that's the thing that I think we're number 1 in the country right now in sacks, and I think that if you ask me why that's the case, I would say 2 things. I think number 1, we have some good players, and number 2, I think we've got a lot of just a lot of depth. In other words, there's competition. Guys are fresh. If you notice, we tend to have more sacks as the game goes along, and part of it's because we've been ahead most of the games and people have to throw, but at the same time I think that we're able to rotate so many players that the offense has a tendency to wear down a little bit. And then also we're covering guys. I mean, I think that's the one of the things that's different. In the past we had some guys open, they got people open, and it just seems like our corners have done such a good job of getting people covered and getting that quarterback off the first or second read and onto the third read, and a lot of the times, we've had some coverage sacks as well. So it's really been a lot of different reasons. It typically is. We played against a couple of young quarterbacks as well, and that helps. So you just got to kind of factor in everything. But I think our guys are playing at a high level, and I think so much of it goes to what you said, just to how many people we have that play, and the guys know they're not going to have to play 60 plays. They can play 25, 30 plays full speed as opposed to playing 65, 70 plays where they start to wear down.
The California governor signed a law, that bill that would allow players to be able to profit off their name, image, and likeness. I'm curious if you feel like that's something that's good for the sport.
The legal part of it, I have no idea. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't know what any of that means. That's not my area. My deal has always been whatever's best for the student athletes and whatever's best for the game, I'm in favor of. So I don't have any idea what that's going to mean, for any of this. And how it's going to work, but like I said, anything that's good for the kids I'm down with, and anything that's good for the game I'm on board with. But I don't know the law or any of that stuff well enough to have any idea.
Would it be something that if players were to be able to make money off their likeness, would you find that to be something that's good?
Well, it's going to be a really complicated thing. You know what I'm saying? Just in terms of how it's going to work and how it's not going to work and what does that mean. And so, like I said, there's a lot of people a lot smarter than me that are going to worry about that, and I'm just going to worry about trying to beat Tulsa.
Richard McBride came out for a couple minutes the other day and obviously returned and led your team in tackles. How's he feeling Sunday and Monday?
Good. Yeah, he's like our team. We're starting to hit game 6 now, and everybody's a little bit worn out. It's that time of year, but he's playing good football for us right now. Thank goodness we have him. He's one of those guys that, when we took him, it was kind of a luxury, and it's turned out to be a really important move for us. He's just played in games, and he's got some experience. We have some young linebackers that we think are developing, going to turn into good players, but they don't quite have the experience that he's got. And so, I think that's what you got to have. You got to have somebody that can step up when one of your best players goes down, and we're not going to replace Richard Moore, but Richard McBride's done a great job of trying to step in there and do the very best he can to help our defense.
How much has he been a role model just in practice, getting a chance to kind of?
Well, he's just still trying to figure things out. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like, the funny thing about it is it's like I told our players with TJ McDaniel. TJ earned playing time by the way he practiced, and so Richard came into the program and we didn't know what we were getting with him. He had no idea what he was getting with us. And he just worked, he just rolled his sleeves up, went to work, was willing to play in any kind of capacity, really any kind of position. He just wanted to help a football team and have a chance to get a master's degree, and he's doing a fantastic job of it. And so I think he's still, just trying to figure out where he goes and he has lunch, most days, just because it's everything's new for him, and it's a new place, a new state, a new program. And so I think he's he's focusing on that. And the good thing is we've got leaders like Dimrick and Rodney and guys that have been around to kind of help those guys and show them the way.
How's Kevin Robledo doing?
Kevin's fine. Yeah, Kevin's fine. We tried to limit him a little bit in terms of he was going to kick field goals for us, and never got into the field goal kicking situation. So we're just trying not to overuse him. I think you'll see more of him this week than last week. I would imagine he'll handle all our place kicking duty this week, assuming he gets through practice this week.
Saw some progress at special teams with only one missed extra point.
Yeah,
What's the key for these kickers going into the game to go perfect?
We just got to make them. I mean, you know what I mean? That's a pretty.
Do you think it's a practice thing or a confidence?
Well, we don't have any problems making them in practice. I mean, that's the thing. We kick about 30 of them a week. I mean, we probably kick as many live extra points and field goals as anybody in college football, and it seems like every week we make 30 of them, and at least the last couple of weeks we've been making them, and we're still missing some of the game. And I think just part of it's just new guys and a little nervousness, but our protection's better, our snaps are better now. We just got to kick it through the middle.
Xavier came out the other night. Was that just because it was 34-0 game, or was
He's fine. I mean, the big thing with him, he was a little sore, and we just didn't want to get him hit a bunch, and so we got him out of there as fast as we could, and I felt like that was a smart thing to do.
No Will Brown or Judah Bell.
Both of them, we'll kind of wait and see. We'll know a little bit more on both of them as the week progresses. I think they're both improving.
Coach, what does it mean to be ranked in the last 33 years?
Yeah.
You guys haven't been there. What does it mean to the program and the atmosphere that you're expecting?
Yeah, I think. Look, I think if you're ranked all the time, being ranked is not any big deal. I think if you haven't been ranked in 33 years, it's clearly a significant step in the right direction for our program. So it's a big deal, and I think it's a bigger deal for our fans than it is for us. I mean, our mantra is always just play one play at a time and get through one day at a time and win one game at a time, and the rest of it takes care of itself. But it is significant. I mean, I think it's been a long road back. There's been a lot of people that have contributed to this road back. We've had fans and boosters and supporters and people that have hung with the program for a very long time when it hasn't necessarily been the easiest thing to hang in there with, and I think we're all appreciative of them. And I think, I said this earlier today, but I really believe this. I think every single coach that's been here post-death penalty has left the program in better shape than they found it. And so I think I'm the benefactor of that, that the guys before us have come in here, rolled their sleeves up and went to work and improved, and the same thing with the players. Our players are the benefactors of the guys that came in after the death penalty. And so, we've just continued to get better and better. You could see signs last year of us having a decent football team. We needed to add some depth, and we've been able to go out and do that. I'm excited for our fans. I think it's a great deal. I'm excited for our players. But at the same time, our job is just to keep doing what we've been doing, and it takes time to build a fan base. I mean, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I think everybody has this misconception that you win games and you sell out your stadium the next week, and that's just not the way it works. It takes time, and there's people that have to plan years in advance to be able to come to games and all those type of things. And so we know it's going to take some time, but we feel like if we continue to win football games and do things the right way and put a good brand of football out there, then the support will take care of itself.
You obviously can't go into names, but what kind of feedback have you gotten about how 5-0 start and being ranked has played on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, I mean, it's made a difference. I mean, it really has. I mean, I think that the big thing we want to do is we want to be able to, instead of getting kids from the transfer portal, we want to get them from the high schools here in Dallas, from the DFW area and all over Texas. And so, that's the big thing for us is to get successful enough where the kids that could go anywhere they want to go, they say, why not SMU? Instead of why SMU, why not SMU? And come take a look at our program, see what we have to offer, and you're going to have a chance to play in a top 25 program and win football games, and do it when you get a first class education and quality place to live and a great environment to go to college in. And so there's a lot of things we have to sell, and we're hoping that guys are starting to get the message.
What does it mean for you as head coach to see Xavier Jones, his name above Doak Walker in the career rushing touchdown?
Yeah, well, that's a big deal. I mean, obviously, I think the thing you got to keep in mind is the Doak played, it was a whole lot different football game. You know what I mean? That's not even taking anything away from Xavier, but football's changed so much that I can remember when 10 touchdowns was a great year for a running back, and we go back and I look at my when I was at Louisiana Tech, my third year, Kenneth Dixon scored 28 touchdowns when he was a freshman. And so it's just, offenses have changed, and we expect Xavier to score a lot of points and be productive. He's a really good player, and we expect to move the football and score points, and he's produced. I mean, I think he's playing his best football. The last 2 weeks has been, I think, his best 2 games. I think he just gets better and better, more comfortable. I think our offensive line continues to improve, and we're running the ball the way we need to.
Somebody put out a stat that has Shane leading the country in deep balls or downfield yardage, something like that. Has he exceeded your expectations as a downfield passer?
It's funny. That's the one thing that I got to see kind of first up close and personal firsthand when I was at Cal. We played him when he was at Texas, and walked off the field. He was a freshman that year, and we had to shoot out in Berkeley, and I walked off the field thinking, man, that guy throws as good a deep ball as anybody I've ever seen. And we felt like that when we started having a conversation about going and finding a quarterback, we felt like we had some big play receivers with James and Reggie and some others, and we felt like that we needed a quarterback that could throw a good deep ball and could get the ball out of his hand on time, could throw over there, could be accurate. We felt like it would mesh with our guys, and I think it has up to this point. The good thing about Shane is he's going to continue to get better and better. I don't think he's anywhere near has played as well as he can play, and so I look forward to watching him improve and continue to get on the same page with those receivers.